Good morning, everyone. Please respond in the chat if you hear me. Should I refresh the chat? All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. It's a great day for all meteorites around the world. And my name is Dmitry. I'll be telling you about how we're implementing PWA service workers, and if we will have a time, push notifications. Let me begin. Quick intro about me, more details in the first video, if it will be available. I'm CTO and founder of Velo Group. I'm known as an after Meteor files and other packages on Atmosphere under Austria namespace. In this talk, I will showcase the service workers and disadvantages as we see it. Let's say we will create a service worker, and I will showcase the default service worker we are using. Then we'll register service worker and hook it with the reload package, Meteor package, to trigger more than just increment in more than just updates when you deploy a new Meteor application, when it triggers the client to refresh. And instead of just refreshing the browser without asking the user, since we're building here a file upload application, web application, we don't want user's browser to get refreshed in the middle of file upload. So disadvantage we see in service workers from point of developing in a side of Meteor ecosystem is that we need to manually edit the file name in 3 different places in the code. This is the only thing, but at the same time, we found we don't change this file that often. So probably we don't mind this extra manual work. So quickly, you need to change this key here to refresh all the cache, possibly cached somewhere when you update your app. Then you would like to do the same here, and the name of the file itself in a public directory needs to be updated to avoid HTTP or CDN caching. Maybe there are ways to automate it, but we found that we don't mind updating the name, incrementing the name of the service worker. So let's begin with creating very first service worker static file. We're going to dig in it in a moment. All right. So there are some particular places I would like to discuss with you. Is cache name, as I mentioned before, important to update it when you has a significant changes in your application. This one constant is very nice to fill with your routes and static files. Can be images, fonts, sounds, videos, whatever you want to pre-cache after a service worker is initialized. We will pre-cache those routes and static files. And these regular expressions, if you serving any custom files with the custom extensions or not common. I use just most common web files extensions around the web. You can update this part of the code. Also, if you have your own static vendors, so again, this file is supposed to, let's say, fit them all. And if you're not using Google, you can remove this part. If you're using your other services, this is where you need to place your static vendors domain names. And if you're using custom suggest path, endpoint path, this is the place where it needs to be updated. And this is another important part to comply with the PWA requirements and respond to every request with a status 200. So OK status with no error status, let's say. And this is the place where we, in case where is not no cached result available, and yeah, basically there might be an exception happening, we will return this default template. And styling is available here because CSS is loaded on other way, not related to the service worker. So this is something what can be styled and used to explain user how to purge the cache in case if he will see this page for too long. The rest is pretty much similar to most of the things you can find in the internet about the service workers. And this part where I described the strategy we use here for caching. So we can briefly go through it. First, we check here and here if file is potentially cacheable. If our application should treat it as a cacheable resource. Then if it is, we check the caches. If there is a cached result, we will respond with a fresh or cached. So whatever will be fulfilled the first. So we always keep our cache fresh unless online version is available, then we will return the cached result. Something like that. Okay, great. The rest is same, is pretty much everywhere. I'll quickly check if you have any questions right here. You're welcome to type it in if you have any. I'll quickly check what we. So we're going to implement it right now in our demo application. All right, first we need to create the file in our public directory. Let's check if I already did it. I did. Okay, this one is ready. Then we're going to set up our service worker. And we'll do it inside of our core of our application. And it looks good. This is the place where we need to make sure matching the file in a public directory. This absolute URL method of Meteor class is always nice to use to make sure we're using absolute path and not going into weird path issues relative. And this is more deep integration part we're using reload library to hook into its on migrate callback, where we can prevent it from refreshing the page. So this is the place where we will be able to ask user, would you like to update the application and use a new version, or you would like to resume your upload and you will update it later. Now let's check if no questions here. All right. We can quickly check if our service worker is running in application tab. Yes, we have it here. It does match our name, name of our service worker. Let's try to clear storage and make sure we're not using cached version of the service worker. Okay. And if we will enable cache, it is enabled. On the second attempt, we will see if our service worker is actually working. We'll see what those previews turn into gear icons. And it is not working because, let's see, because we didn't set it up actually. Yeah, as you see, as I mentioned before, gear icons means it was served through service worker. All those files are treated as a static, which is good. And now we have this issue. For example, I'm uploading the large file, and we push the new version to the website. It's get rebooted instantly, and as a user, I'm not being asked if I would like to refresh the page or not. That's why we're going to use this little script. Let's grab it. And we will put it into the core as well. We'll put import at the top of the file. Place it nicely. Quickly check where we have everything we need. And here, I'm not going to blindly reload. So in this case, if you have code like this, so in case if it's not immediate migration, we tell to this script on migrate script not to reload the page, but we instantly, after clearing the cache, we reload the page. So in our case, we'd like to ask user, something like this. And if user is agree, we will reload the page. If user not, we'll return false, which will trigger nothing because the page won't be reloaded. Cancel the reload. Otherwise, if user would like to reload, we'll launch this function, swap the cache, basically as a description, says refresh, invalidate, unregister, purge all possible caches, unregister service workers, and give it a little time to figure out, to make sure everything is cleared, and reload the page. Yeah, let's see if it will work or not. Hopefully it will. So we have running, we're on the website, and then we introduce changes. It asks us, would like we to refresh or not. Cancel, good. And next time we will agree to refresh. Already said cancel, already said no. Okay, yeah. Yes, I agree, and it refreshes. I recommend you to not to use confirm, which is not very user experience friendly. Instead, you can use reactive variable hooked to the template, display nice, something nice asking user if he would like to reboot or not his web page. Okay, it is a little annoying in my case. I probably should hook it to the upload state and only ask while I have an active uploads. But I'm not going to cover it in terms of this talk. All right, we did most of it. We discussed the caching logic and strategy. We created the hook with Meteor reload library. Now it's time to integrate web push notifications. Interesting. All right, I prepared everything required to integrate push notifications to your applications as well quickly. So we introduce a little changes to, let me see if anyone, since we're going to our next charter, maybe anyone has questions. All right. Jan, are you still here? Check the poll. Okay. Okay. No polls. Why your question is not displayed, Jan? Would the refresh affect persisted data? No, because it is persistent, I guess. Yeah, since we have, for example, we do an upload here, and once it fetched, actually after we upload, we'll already have a copy of it. So we never will ask a server for file itself. So should be actually, we should be able to see it in our storage, for the local storage. Recent uploads, yeah, this is the image we have. As long as it is here, we never will ask the server for it. And upon its expiration, we'll clear out with a script. Anyone else? Jan, I have a question. If I should continue in this meeting, would it break the video? If I will continue in this one? It is like 10 more minutes covering the push notifications. If there will be no bugs, of course, then we can stuck here. A few more minutes. Okay. Thank you, Jan. Yes, push notifications. I really love to cover it, and it doesn't seem like a good match for this particular app, but we're going to send push notification from the server after file is uploaded. Makes no sense, but let's imagine there will be in the future background uploads from the service worker itself, long running for terabytes of data, then probably this push notification will get handy. All right, I'll start from, so we're already having this part. Now we will have to do a little, install a little more packages. So I'm going to use the web push library to generate keys and basically to send the messages to endpoints. Should have it somewhere. Anyways, we'll go the full way, generating those like this. This is the server part where we're sending requests to the endpoints, push notifications endpoints. Probably will place it right here. It should be in its own file, but we don't have time for it. So now I should get my keys. So for every website, you need only, nice. For every website, you need only to generate those keys once. And we will fill it, our settings JSON. From example here. And this one should be moved to the public section. Property. All right, now we should have the public key. Public is right here. This is the area where users can fill out their Amazon S3 and use it as storage. I'm not going to use those private key pair in production, just for tests. Okay, looks good. No, I think we're going to create its own file. Okay, we're gonna name this one Meteor. Meteor, something else. And I need a pass settings. All right. So here is a little helper where we have default message required by all endpoints for push notifications. Most of them are not used, but I picked most interesting, let's say. Then this a little helper push notification send. Plus here subscription you get it from browser. No need to store it. Just we're going to send it with the file in a metadata of the file. A message will say, "Hey, file is uploaded." Since we are getting file upload, the interesting fact, since our library uploads file at the beginning to the server and then to the Amazon and other cloud storages, we can use those push notifications to tell user when it's fully moved to the third-party storage. That's something what might be interesting. Okay, I found the place on after upload. If okay, if we're going to use it here, then so basically, since this is the open source into multiply use, we have two types of the storage supported. Is internal, and we need to send push notification for internal upload, storage upload, and then to AWS S3. After it's unlinked. Okay, now we need to find a way to push subscription object. And since we know it was in metadata, probably do something like this. We'll check what's inside of this file. Let's see if anyone has questions. Okay, no new questions. Title and body. here we need the name of the file, or we can go success, simpler way. File is uploaded. Okay, we can add the name of the file a little later. It will be released in the next version. Okay. And then we can also pass this section with the URL to the file. This is something that will be interesting. So by default, we'll point it to the root in case we'll send some weird message with the broken data. Then data URL. And I will show you in a moment how it will be triggered. So we'll pass along with the notification the URL to the file. So by clicking on notification, we'll open the file itself. All right. I guess this is the way we're supposed to do. I always prefer to use a full path to the file so you can easily to move it around later. Then we need to introduce minor changes to service worker. All right, Jan, hold on.